Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hope everybody.
We're all here.
Labor Day. We're all here.
Yay.
Look at that.
Yeah. Is it too late to take the night off? Because I feel like
something's not right.
Yeah, something.
Everybody's here. It's a little crooked.
I feel crowded now.
Funny story. So Audra, everybody gets to start working from home finally tomorrow.
Yay! You're gonna love it.
When do I get to do that?
After $800 of setting up her new office.
After 4 weeks and $800 later.
Yeah. She finally gets to start. And guy Chad Thomas will be on next week, by the way.
Woo-hoo.
Chad.
Mr. Shad.
Mr. Chad. He's a good dude.
Right before the show started, she's like, I don't want to sit with you tonight.
I did not say that.
That's exactly what you said. That's what I heard.
I know that's what you heard.
Is that true?
No.
I had to jump in. Audra, is that true?
No, it is not.
She wanted to try out her new office and see if her video stuff worked, so it worked for work.
Oh.
And I went in there, I got her all set up. I ran back and forth so I could hear her and she could hear me to get her mic working.
Like, I don't hear you.
And then I get it all set up. She's in the broadcast and she goes, never mind, I'll just sit with you.
That was hilarious. I just had to jump in. I love you guys. Y'all have a great show.
Thank you. Love you. Thanks, guys.
So we almost had one more screen with Audra in it.
I know. From the other room.
Audra, yes.
Jammies. Yay.
Hey, there she is.
Miss Jennie.
And hello to everybody joining. Dos Cocos.
Dos Cocos back in town.
Antoine, Raul.
Yeah. I know.
Those who've shown up so far.
Jean's here.
Thank you guys for joining.
Kieran.
Gio.
Of course, Roger.
Nice.
Gio.
Roger's here?
Yeah, what a surprise.
That's just amazing. So, real quick, I wanted to touch base with you guys. So, you're going to see a little bit of different formatting coming from us because, guys, with Chad Thomas, Chad might have some video clips from some investigations. He might not. We might just be talking to Chad and Jamie about their podcast. We might just be talking paranormal. That's what you're going to start seeing coming out of Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. You're going to see, like the night we did the after death communication talk, where it was just a panel discussion between the six of us. You're going to see guest comes on. We've got a really awesome guest that's coming on in October that writes historical books based on paranormal phenomena recorded in the 19th century, in the 1800s, and they would actually make news articles about it. This gentleman has done the research for all these news articles and not investigated, but researched the locations and written books about it. So he's going to come on and tell us some history about the paranormal from the 1800s, which ought to be really cool. And these are actually documented stuff that he wrote in his book. So that'll really be a cool show.
What up, Scott? Also, shout out to Alicia Gutierrez watching from the West Coast.
Yeah, West Coast.
He's awesome, as is everyone who tunes in. More awesomeness happening tonight.
Yes.
We're increasing our awesomeness.
Speaking of increasing our awesomeness,
we need to
increase it just one more time.
Turn up.
What do you think, Ron?
Should we what?
Should we increase our awesomeness just one more step tonight?
One more.
Yes.
Is it even possible? It is.
See, Nicole.
Nicole Chivanti. Yeah, no. You see how her name is spelled Chivatani, but Rich Michella did a promo for an event, and he does amazing voiceover stuff. And he read it and he goes, and Nicole Chiavanti. I mean, when it's not Chiavanti.
So who the heck is Shivanti? It's Shivatoni. It's
Yeah.
Shivatoni. Yeah.
With Ron Yavakati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
So let's kick up the awesomeness just one more step. Everybody say hello to Mr. Forget About It.
Mr.
Hey,
Cool.
Yay.
You know where you are tonight. You're at Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence.
I want to be on a Monday night. This is the best place to be.
That's right.
With all my awesome family here. All of you.
Mr. Forget About It. You look good, man. Your haircut, beard cleaned up.
Yeah,
Like
you know,
fresh to death. Is it fresh to death? That's what you used to say? I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, I never said that, but let's
I
go with
did
that.
fresh to death.
Mr.
we have gang signals.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You look dapper.
Young, Anthony. I look dapper.
You look very
I washed
dapper.
my hair for a change, and I just, washed up.
Yeah.
Just watch it. Thank you.
Only Mr.
Yeah.
Simonelli come on and go, I look dapper.
Yeah.
I look dapper. Yeah. Hey, so how's everybody doing? Hey.
Good.
Good. How are you, Mrs. Simonelli?
Hey, Nicole, forget about Nicole. Hey, how you doing?
So, hey, real quick.
That could be the whole show, by the way, Chris. Just him doing that.
Just people saying hello to Anthony.
Yeah, how you doing? And how you doing?
Hey, my cannoli buddies there. My cannoli connection. Todd and Chameleon.
So Anthony, tell us, what do you got coming up starting next month?
Just a little thing called Seekers Chronicles Paranormal Historians. It's a podcast on ERRTV, on ERRT Radio, but my co-host with me is Jennie Collucci. Hey, Jenny.
Very nice.
And Kim Gaia. She's
She's another one. Yay.
Yeah.
great. She's all psychic. She does the land and everything. And we're going to be doing a lot of places, historic places. And it's we do have our first guest they're going to be on, so I'll announce who they're going to be. Chris and Audra.
Yay! That's one of our first guests.
Our first episode is going to be about the Montgomery House.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Awesome.
Wonderful place.
I've heard of that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard about that place too. Hey, I know a guy, and it's going to be a great show, and we're going to do the history of the show is going to be based on. We're going to do historic events, not just paranormal, but historic events, and then we're going to do. Of course, we got to do something with paranormal, so that's going to happen afterwards. So that's going to be.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Olive Garden's not real Italian food. Give me a break.
That's awesome, though, Anthony. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so we're gonna podcast on October 1st. It's Tuesday night, 8:00. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jenny, what time does it start? It starts at 8:00. 8, and we're gonna try maybe a half hour, 2 hours. We'll see what works out. But
Awesome.
so that's gonna be awesome.
Super excited.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
we're very excited. We have a couple shows after that, already starting to be formed. So, it should be a good event, a good podcast. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Yep, it's gonna be
That's
awesome.
cool. The airwaves miss you. This will be fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
Tuesday at 8 p.m.
because she's like the secretary, the researcher, the historian. Jenny's everything. I was just like,
The treasurer.
treasurer. Yeah, she's everything.
There you go.
You can't stop that woman. She's like boom, 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 all over the place. So
Yeah. And speaking
That's
of amazing women, there's Courtney Peterson. That's all the marketing anybody ever needs.
You're absolutely right.
And she's fantastic.
Yeah, she has raised the bar of support of others in the community to Olympic levels.
She
And
has.
we thank you.
Oh, and speaking of raising stuff, Lourdes, I don't know what you sent out today, but I had put up a STATICOM project page.
Yeah.
And then I went, because she sent one to me. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm aware of it. I built it.
Are you sure?
Then I noticed by about 2 o'clock, we had gone from like 6 people on it to like 120. So then I realized what she did, and I turned around and did the same thing.
Good.
So now I sent. You can max out at 1,000.
That's what I did.
Page. So anybody who got invites to it and joined, thank you. There's going to be a lot of great stuff coming up about STATICOM on that page. So if you get a chance, follow it and enjoy all the stuff that's coming. So, but thank you for that.
Well,
It too. I'm like, wait, how did she? I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can share it. And then I'm looking through, and it says how many friends max 1,000. Like, I can send this to 1,000. Click.
Yep, that's what I did, and I was like, you all should do it. I was like, I have to tell them to do, but you did it, so that's good.
But thank you for doing that.
Of
for
course,
We
of course.
call what is our PR.
I'm almost as good as Courtney Peterson. Almost as good.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, I just saw people coming in left and right. I'm like, yeah, there it is. Thank you.
Yeah. So we have a page which we should have had for some time, but luckily Tony had the wherewithal to decide to put it up.
Well,
I found out when I was tagged in something, and then so was that. I was like, oh hey, we have a STATICOM page.
Well, I was Googling keywords around STATICOM, and the STATICOM project was one that was used quite frequently because, every presentation, that's what it's, because I'm like, okay, this page has got to go up with that name, which of course is the banners behind us. But so that's what I did. And there's stuff you guys did, there's stuff we've done, stuff we've done together. So it's a nice mixture. I think your clips from the Haunted Manor, I think I posted that one today.
Yeah.
But our full presentation from Gettysburg is up there. I wish we had the one from Symposium, but we don't because we were all in it, so nobody could video. So
I did.
You did a little bit.
Presentation, yeah.
From Gettysburg, not the Symposium.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's good though too. I think that was a good idea to put it up, and that to be fair and credit, because I think one of the reasons Lourdes appreciates Courtney so much is because Lourdes tries to do the same thing, and she does share. If you're her friend, she shares your stuff.
She does.
And,
wonderful.
And she told me it went from like 12 to 100 and something, 126, whatever.
It's like 252.
Now it's over. Yeah, so
we try.
We gonna get it higher than that.
We here.
I like how Courtney phrased that. But I'll pimp you out either way.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Courtney. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney.
Yeah.
It was awesome with all you guys at Gettysburg with the STATICOM.
Yeah.
You had everybody there. It's like, I thought it was a great event that I got to see with all 6 of you, plus, Jennie and the Cocos and everybody else. It was a great event.
It was.
I was happy to just be part of, some of it. I wasn't there for everything, but, just the first night.
Raul made 253.
Great. That's fantastic. Like I said, they were like 6 this morning because it's only 2 or 3 days old. It hasn't been up that long. But
I figured you hadn't invited people. Yeah.
What's up, King?
No, I didn't even think about it.
305, Jenny and Mondo down in Florida.
305 will be back on again next month, y'all.
Yeah, we've made great friends, great relationships with people in all different parts of the country.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see where this has taken us, and if the what's in it for us aspect ever comes up, that's really it.
It is. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yep. Anything that comes after that is extra.
Those Cocos. If we're gonna share like we do sometimes what we've done recently, we actually did something non-paranormal on a weekend for the first time in a long time, and the Cocos joined us. We went and see the Broadway musical Back to the Future in New York City. If you've seen the movies, it was fantastic.
Was it?
It was so good. Everything from the music, the stage effects to do what they did in the movies was unbelievably well done.
Wow.
Really?
It was really good. Yeah, it was a surprise at how good it was. But we had a great time. And then we took them. You guys probably have heard before of the piano bar that we used to frequent so much. It was a Sunday night on Labor Day weekend, so we were all off on Monday. And we just figuring it would be quiet. We'll grab a drink. We'll show them this piano bar we talked about. Well, everybody except one or two of the people that we've befriended there who sing and perform there, who are amazing Broadway quality performers, they were all there.
Oh, wow.
Almost all of them. And it was unbelievable. And they saw us come in and it was hugs and stuff. And then they got to see them sing a little bit and stuff, especially a couple of the ones that we've known for a long time.
It was nice.
It was just a really, really cool off topic from paranormal time to hang out with some of our friends. And we had a nice dinner over here in Edgewater by where we live. It was great. Courtney, we would love to be spending time with you. Unfortunately, we're not going to be at the Supernatural Soiree this year, but we will make it a point to find an event that you can be at, or we can be at with you.
I'm sure we'll meet you soon.
Yeah, that needs to happen. We need to spend some time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the piano bar was
Very,
fantastic.
very jealous.
We had a great time.
Very
Need to
jealous.
get up there sometime.
Yeah,
I want to get all of you to the piano bar.
yeah, that's the kind of place that Billy Joel was singing about with that song, writing about that in that song. It's an iconic bar. They had opened one in LA and Las Vegas. The Vegas one's still open. LA didn't stay. We went to the Vegas one when we were, remember Tony Cherie, when we went to the Paracon at the MGM in 2021. And even though Las Vegas is a huge
2021. Oh my
Yeah.
December,
Can you believe it?
December 2021. Yeah.
Wow.
wow.
And even though Las Vegas is a huge entertainment city, the talent pool, because of Broadway being here,
And they were talented.
they were good, but it was not even
It was
not
not.
the same class.
It
It's
was
just-
not.
The one over here is just iconic.
Well, there's a lot more drinking in Vegas, so it doesn't have to be as good.
That may be true.
It is. It is. Oh yeah. By the time you get to a show, you're hammered. Anything.
Yeah. By the time you get to breakfast.
Yeah, by the time you get there, you can't even say the word.
Breakfast.
You're carrying breakfast.
Eggs.
Breakfast.
I want my eggs like my brain scrambled, please.
Anthony, are you second guessing this appearance now that you remember how we all are?
No, I'm used to that.
He's too much.
Speaking of Anthony's appearance,
Anthony.
the reason we brought Anthony on the show today is because, guys, welcome to the Collucci encounter. STATICOM strikes back. So this is the follow-up show to everything that we showed. God, what was it? 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? 2 or 3?
About 3 weeks
2 weeks ago, I think.
2?
Was it right before Labor Day we did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, you saw what happened to Jennie Collucci in room 158 at the Eisenhower. You saw our follow-up 15-minute investigation that produced about 7 to 8 EVPs in 15 minutes. Solid ones where we got the spirit's name. We started communicating. I started picking up what had happened in the room. Audra and I started getting the description. Tonight, you're going to see the follow-up from Anthony, who, of course, is a spirit sketch artist, and he's also sensitive. He did a reading a week and a half after, and nobody explained to Anthony what went on in the room. He just knew what happened to Jennie because he talked to her before she left. But unfortunately, Anthony had to leave that afternoon, so he didn't get to partake in what happened later that night.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with that portion, and then we'll get to STATICOM Strikes Back, because then the Rathmans didn't leave until Monday. And these crazy sumbitches went, hey, all that crazy shit went on in the room. Let's go see if we can rent it. Let's spend the night and run it. And that's exactly what they did, and that's what we're going to end the show with. So I'm going to talk to Anthony, and then we're going to hand the show over to Tony and Cherie. So, Anthony, tell us when you started reading, describe what you picked up. And everybody remember the show that we did last week, all the details, or the week before, of everything. And listen close to what Anthony picked up a week and a half later.
Yeah, and Anthony, if you could also give him a really quick, small summary, like what it is you do with your art, because it really is amazing to see when you do stuff like this, especially in the context that you're going to see it tonight.
I don't like that picture.
That picture got me sick doing it. But what I do is with the spirit art.
Oh, the one that looks like you?
Yeah. Anthony, don't show
It
it.
kind of does a little bit.
I'm sure you didn't draw that from the next night, because that's.
Oh, wow.
Imagine. So go ahead, Ant.
Well,
The audience is going, what picture? What are they talking about?
what we do?
You know,
Well, what happened was, Jennie did, a little video, but she didn't give me anything on it. So I don't listen to the voices. I just look at the room, and I seen images of a woman. Should I describe my picture, or you want to show it first, or?
go ahead and describe it.
Okay. Well, I just pick up these images and I just start sketching them, and I do a nice little setup or whatever. But I seen a woman on a bed, tied up, barely beaten, and needle marks and that stuff. I got the name. What they used to call her and why they called it to her. And drawing that picture, I felt nauseous. I had a headache, and I got dizzy and everything. I don't know if I caught the effect of what was going on, but she was barely beaten, and a lot of things were going on. They were doing things to her too, but she was. I got down. She was a prostitute, a hooker and stuff. Like I said, just talking about bothers me. And so I just drew the picture, and she was on the bed, tied up. I got the name, Bunny Rabbit, I think I wrote on it, and they called her that because of things they used to do to her, what like a bunny rabbit would do. I'm not going to get into detail, but she was bloody and everything. So I ended up drawing the picture and giving it to you guys, and you said that, wow, you thought it was something that I wouldn't know, because that Saturday I had to leave Gettysburg. I had something going on at home, so I left in the afternoon. So you guys did the investigation that night, which I didn't know about, until you guys got back whenever later on. But so
I'll bring the picture up now, and I want everybody to recall from 2 weeks ago what Audra and I picked up in the room was a short, blonde, skinny, Heather Locklear 80s skinny type girl is the description that Audra and I were picking up as a team inside the room.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you remember right from the reading, we were getting that she was beat. Look at the picture Anthony drew.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, she was blonde. She had needle marks. You can see I have needle marks on there. Bunny Rabbit, they called her that. That was her nickname. I feel she was hooked, and she was like between 18 and 20 years old. And she was tied up. She's supposed to be laying flat on a bed right now, looking up. And she wants her story told. And I don't know if it was ever told. She was not non-nutrition and stuff like that. I don't know why she was there, but she was passed around, and her life wasn't good.
Yeah, if you remember right, this was a biker hotel in that time. So something like this, I don't know if you would say raped, but passed around is definitely a word you could use.
It qualifies though too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Interesting
Now, Anthony,
that Alicia posted that also too, because she's also a very talented medium and shaman.
very good.
It was like when I seen that, because I just sit there and I just looked, and I get like a picture of my third eye, and I get like a old like a photocopy machine. You put you scan it, it scans down, and that's how I see these things. It scans down in my image, and that's how I get to see this. And as I draw it, more detail just comes in and just comes in and just comes in and comes in until overflows, and I just keep on drawing. That's why I get the detail, and I keep on sketching, and that's what I came up with this one.
So Mary Beth, the one that just popped up. where she asked if they killed her, we were picking up the same thing that night in the room, that she did not survive it.
Yeah. I don't know if she was actually died in that location.
I didn't feel that either. Yep.
Yeah, I don't feel she died in that location. I think she died afterwards. And I don't know if even she was taken to a hospital or anything. They might just got rid of her. Also,
I think she was dumped up somewhere in the woods.
there was one big bed in there one time. It wasn't like, the smaller beds, one big bed, and that's where it happened. And I know Jennie the next day the first day we found, we discovered that room was haunted the night before. A guy, Eric, came up and said, well, that's the most haunted room in the place. So we were just sitting back and relaxing. And that night when Jennie came out for breakfast, and she was sitting there, she had bruises on her arm. And me, Ron, and Lourdes were there, and I'm like, what's that? And she goes, oh, I don't know. And she was like trying to dismiss it because sometimes she's a little skeptic with these things. And Ron was like, look, that's fingers marks. And that's where I put my fingers. So look, that's where my pinky and my index finger than my, not the thumb, and my index finger, like the way it fit, it was like too close to like somebody really pulling her. So that night, I guess that's the night you guys went in there and investigated. I had to leave that day.
Yeah.
On the day.
And what's amazing, I want to point out something that Anthony said, that it happened in one bed. At one time, there was one bed in the room, because what I also picked up with Jennie, I said, tonight, don't sleep in that bed, sleep in this one. And she goes, you think that'll change anything? And I said, yeah, I think it will. I think sleeping over here will change it. And she slept that night, not one problem, that same night, by sleeping on the other bed. And she even said that on the show, which was amazing.
I just read that, somebody feels like he hated. Okay. I don't know. I just think, I don't know if he hated women. I just think he thought women were property. And like a dog, you're going to beat a dog if it's bad. Okay. And
to me, that's hate.
Yeah.
To me, that's hate. But okay.
Yeah. Well, no, maybe he is hate of women, but I think he hated everybody. Anybody that crossed these people, they would beat and maybe kill.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter if it was man or woman.
Especially women, because they showed the clip of us in the room. Remember the clip where I went, you're not going to talk to these, because the women kept trying to talk to him and he wouldn't respond. The minute I started talking to him, he responded a couple times to Todd, but the minute I responded to him, right, he would talk to me. And I went, you're not going to talk to these bitches, are you? And man, he lit that thing up and hit the dead bell. And it was like, that's the way he felt about women. You can call that hate, but that's and to answer Scott's question, we're thinking late 70s, early 80s. Late 70s, early 80s bikers, women were bitches. They were property. They were passed around. No offense, guys. I've already cleared this up. This is not how I feel by any means. But that's what I was picking up from Daryl.
Because, also, I got like the 70s also with these people. And women back then, if they were part of the club, they would wear patches. Okay? Because they have the rocker patches on the top and bottom if you're a club member. So the women would wear the patches and then say, if they were an old lady with somebody, they would say underneath, they would say property of and whatever club they are. And that's what would be on their colors. Property of and then the club.
Yeah.
So they were just property, and like I said, they were passed around.
Yep.
And they became old ladies who may be a little different, but yeah. So I feel that, I feel that maybe she did something they didn't like, or maybe she wasn't making money. Maybe she was one of their, their hookers or their prostitutes that wasn't making enough money, or maybe she was stealing money. I don't know. I can't blame her. Because it's not, no way anybody's get a beating like that. No way. So.
Yeah, no. And Anthony's dead on. My ex-father-in-law was a biker in Southern California. and he had a lot of friends that were in the Hells Angels. And I asked him, why'd you never prospect for the Hells Angels? And he goes, because the minute I prospect, my wife becomes everybody's property, and nobody's going to own her but me.
Mm-hmm.
His exact words. So you're dead on, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
So Anthony, talk to us about Daryl.
Daryl. Well, I got the name Dogman on him.
Yeah, they all had nicknames.
And they all do have names. You know, like the woman, she was called Bunny Rabbit. So everybody had a different name. Not everybody had the real name most of the time. They just call them by what they were or whatever. And he was a mean person. I got from him, and I also drew some of the stuff that he was wearing. Boots. He was wearing a weird type of boot that was in the front. It was flat, and he also had spurs on the boots. Like for horses. And he also had a big belt, a buckle, and it had a horse on and stuff like that. Which I don't think he was a cowboy. I think he used that as a weapon. And he had brass knuckles and everything else. And those. I hung out with a bunch of people too, a bunch of clubs that I used to know, and anything they had, they used as a weapon. That the cops, a belt buckle belt, the cop's not going to go up there and take your belt away as a weapon. It's just there, but you could use it as a weapon if you need it. Rings, whatever they had. So Daryl, he was a bad guy, and he had on his I got dog man on his vest, and also I got VP, and VP is usually the vice president of a club or something like that. And he was not a nice guy, dude rag, the hair hanging down and stuff, tough guy. Not a nice person to be around, and I don't think, like I said, I don't think he was only like that with women. I think that was with anybody that wasn't a member or anything to do with the club also. So yeah, he wasn't a nice guy. So
well, and Alicia said, and Cherie popped it up, is that she felt like she rebelled. I picked it up that night that he was pissed off at her because she did something she wasn't supposed to.
That's what that's what I said. Something she might have. I thought really like she was stealing money. She was taking money, and I think that was the reason that she did that. And they did that. I mean, they even tied her up. A little girl like that, they had to tie up and beat. That was very. He was a nice guy. He was a very mean guy, and I think he had a lot of stuff that he did in the past.
Yes.
I probably did some time or whatever, but.
So, yeah, I'm sure they all did. So I want to pop up this picture first, but I want to remind you guys what Audra and I said we described that night. We said something that looked like a rough-looking Sam Elliott from the movie Mask, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Rick Springfield hair. So this is what Anthony drew.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, the dog man, and I also have an image of him having on him somewhere. I think it's under one of the sleeves, but a pentagram.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. That's. But I think it was under the sleeve.
Right on the front of his shirt.
Huh?
Right there on the front, one of the patches.
You drew it.
Yeah. But that's just like a star. Pentagram. Yeah, that could be a pentagram too.
Yeah, but I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. What does that say underneath your name? Anthony Simonelli what?
2024.
2024.
Oh,
Well,
I'm seeing saying Zozie. I can't see it.
That's his alter ego, Zozie.
Yeah, this guy wasn't a nice guy. He, as you can see, he had tattoos on his arm. One tattoo on his one arm here. If you're facing
What's wrong with that?
us right now, it's like the left, but it looks like a drag. I thought maybe it was a dragon's tail or a snake's tail coming down. And the other one did have like a pitchfork or like a fork from the like a devil or something.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. An upside down Triton. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Something like that. He had it. You could see he had his shirt open, showing his hair and stuff like that, and he do rag and everything. So he wasn't a nice guy. He really wasn't, and I actually could see what he did to her with the beating and everything too. So
check this out, y'all. An upside down pitchfork tattoo can have multiple meanings, up to and including gang recognition, gang identification, or gang power.
Wow.
Look at that.
In that case, if it has something to do with gangs and stuff, maybe one of the clubs, we could look it up, see if any of the clubs out that way.
I can tell you a dragon tattoo was very popular among 70s, 80s bikers that stood for stature.
Yeah. So that's what I could see a little bit on it. This is the stuff he was wearing. Okay. Big-ass buckle.
Those Ohio people are.
Huh?
I said Ohio. You know how those Ohio people are.
I know.
Yeah. But I don't think he was from Ohio. I think he had it because it was a big belt buckle, and he could use it as a weapon. And the boots, I drew more of a front and the side, what they would look like. Okay, those ones didn't come out as the way I would like them, but you could see there's a spur in the back on the boot. There's like a spur out the back. The belt, like I said, the belt was had like gold lettering on and a silver background and everything, and then the horse and stuff. I even looked up. Yeah, I said champ on it. Usually, belt buckles. A lot of the rodeo people have belt buckles, but if they win, they get this big belt buckle that says champion on it. It doesn't say champ. So I don't know why this said champ on it. And also the belt itself had like silver studs, had studs in it, golden studs that part of a weapon, I guess. But
They look like riding boots, though, like Harley Davidson riding boots, kind of.
Yeah,
They do.
Yeah,
and they were made out of iron.
Well, when I used to ride too, we call them motorcycle boots, but they're really engineer boots.
Yeah,
engineers used to use them on the trains.
You know why bikers wore them?
So they can kick ass.
Besides that, because it's more of a protection on them with the muffler.
That's what I thought, but why?
Yeah. So the heavy tipped engineering boots, when you go to shift with your foot, wouldn't wear out. Cowboy boots, it would wear a groove and a hole in the cowboy boot from shifting with your foot.
Okay, that makes sense.
So they would wear the black riding engineering boots because it was a tougher toe and it would last longer when they would shift. And
they were so
ballerina tipping toes, those toe shoes.
I rode, those boots were so uncomfortable. You couldn't walk far with them.
No,
you go anywhere, you have to put something else on.
Oh yeah, they're very uncomfortable. Well, the ballerina ones with the tip, they're uncomfortable because it's hard and it's like flat.
I never rode my motorcycle with ballerina tips.
Yeah. Well, it's specifically for
that. That's what it reminds me of.
Not too late.
I can tell you, I used to ride a lot when I was younger, and I had a pair of cowboy boots that I rode with, and I wore a hole in them damn cowboy boots, and they were my favorite pair. It pissed me off. And then I realized why people wore riding boots, because the softer leather of a cowboy boot, it'll wear through when you shift.
Yeah.
Later on, they put a little they used to put cushions on where you shifted and everything.
Yeah.
So they had like a little cushion in the front for the wear. But this guy wasn't a nice guy. He was. They were all 1%ers. Everybody there was a 1%er. And I did look up a couple of clubs in those areas, and they were affiliated with some of the mainstream clubs that are out.
So, Anthony, explain to our audience what 1%ers mean.
1% is when they were in a motorcycle club. They don't call them gangs. They call them clubs. And the motorcycle club, if it's a 1%er, that means because most of the guys out there riding are just guys like us that just regular riders and stuff. 1%ers are usually the guys that all they do is ride, and they're in these clubs that 1%. They're criminals pretty much, And that's what the 1% is, because they're out there doing, crimes and, doing a lot of bad things, fighting each other and everything like that.
And some of the original bikers were very racist. So the 1%, the 1% meant that they were 99% Caucasian.
No, thanks, man.
Yeah, which means I could never get into one. So
yeah, I mean,
actually, Tony's the only one probably could. Well, Anthony.
I never rode with anybody Pacific, and I rode pretty much by myself or with family or friends, something like that. But riding with those, I mean, I used to work. I told you guys one time I was working in a adult establishment, and I used to hire these guys to be my doormen. HA, they used to be my doormen, and you give them free drinks and you give them a couple bucks, and nothing happens in your place,
right?
So
they didn't care about the floor gravy.
Yeah, but so it's.
I did it. Got her to roll her eyes.
Oh, she did it like 3 times already.
No, but that time I actually got that.
Audra.
Yeah, so I mean, so he was probably a 1%. He probably did some time here and there and stuff.
Right.
Dogman, I don't know why they called him Dogman. I did look up people that were called Dogman in the past, and some of them actually brought up dogs, bulls and stuff like that, or some other stuff. But
and the older gangs didn't. They had a really bad habit of they didn't want to say their names, especially if they were doing shit they weren't supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. So every member of the group had a nickname, and it was somewhere relatable to him, right? Mm-hmm. Like my ex-father-in-law, he loved hybrid Timberwolves. He had 2 of them for pets, so they called him Timberwolf. They didn't call him by his name because if his name was ever brought up, you didn't want it connected to anything that could put you in jail, right? So they gave them all nicknames.
Yeah, everybody had a nickname, and sometimes it's easier to remember a nickname than somebody's name. And sometimes you got like 10 guys with the same freaking name in the place. Mm-hmm. So they call them by nicknames and everything like that.
Yeah, we do that too in the Staticom gang. We have Wrathman and Yakman.
It's a Staticom club.
And
and
right.
Loki, aka Mexican Snitch. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. For those who may not know what she's talking about, she was referred to as both Mexican and a snitch at Fort Mifflin through one of the voices that came through.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's the question. Because I'm not Mexican.
It could sing, I'm not Mexican, and it could sing Mexican. I was like, all right, fine.
Snitch. That's funny.
For everybody watching tonight, when Tony takes over the Staticom portion, that is not Cherie's nickname. For everybody watching, she is the Filipino hurricane.
It's okay, low-key, Mexican or whatever. Mine is different. I'm like, okay.
Cherie got called much worse.
Much worse.
Oh no, I got some, but
you call you my crazy Asian friend over here.
I've been called the N-word. I've been called a lot of stuff, but I like the Mexican Snitch. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's better than the N-word.
It's better than the N-word, yeah.
Yeah.
So for everybody watching, the reason I wanted to bring Anthony on is because I wanted you to see the connection of the readings. And what's even more intriguing is Anthony described how he picks stuff up, how it's like a copier and it slowly goes like this. What's amazing is the way Audra sees stuff is like a Polaroid picture.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. It's a snapshot. For some reason, I hear it. I can almost see them like they're in the room sometimes, depending how strong the energy is. Daryl, I could see standing there. It was one of the strongest energies I've picked up in a long time, and it was amazing. That night was, I shouldn't say amazing.
Well, the
experience was amazing,
right.
For such a small room, and at the bash to top it off with really close friends.
An unexpected investigation.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, where'd you see him standing? Because when She went across the room. Jenny went across the room with the thing. I seen him towards the back by the slide doors.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first entered the room, I saw him in the corner next to the air conditioner, and he moved over by the door where he would peek out and watch the pool. He was standing right in that area when I first walked in, and Carmella got the same thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Eric was telling us about the that room being haunted on that Thursday night, he says that people report a man looking out that back room. They said they actually see the curtain pulled back and saw a man looking out of it.
And what's funny is before Jenny even told us that, I told her, I said, he watches what's going on at the pool. He peeks out the window and he watches what's happening at the pool. And then Jenny goes, "Oh my God, you won't believe what Eric told us." So it was, that room was intense.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
and
now
they only found out that room was a haunted room like a couple of weeks before that, because him and Steve, Eric and Steve, were doing investigations, and they were in that room, and everything was going off the charts.
And they got the same level EVPs too. Get out. They didn't want him there. Yep.
Yeah.
There you
that
go.
was interesting. Yeah, that was good.
Yep.
There was so many collaborations, even like Carmella too.
Yeah.
All of you picked up the same thing at different times without knowing each other's thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was intense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what was, so if anybody that's ever, Audra's seen this, Anthony, you saw it at Trans-Allegheny. When I start reading a room, when the energy's intense, you see me, I fiddle with my hands. My hands start shaking. I can't keep my hands stop moving. The whole time, the minute I connected with that room, it was nonstop. I was sweating. I was shaking. The energy in that room was incredibly intense. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, the crazy ass Rathmans in the Filipino hurricane.
I like that name.
The Filipino hurricane. So
Very quickly, first before you show anything, the picture of Cherie, you didn't show it, right? That's another picture you're thinking of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, that
Sorry.
doesn't look anything like Cherie.
No, but I know which picture you're talking about. It's unrelated to this, but yeah.
The
Sorry.
picture we showed of the female looks more like Tony after he pisses off Cherie.
The picture that I drew looks like Cherie.
There's a picture that you drew, and I know which one she's talking about that looks like Cherie. It doesn't have to do with this. We'll move on. But we'll talk about it later. I know.
All right. I'd like to know which one it is.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, I want to see that one too. All right, Tony, it's your show.
Hit it.
All right, well, it's an hour-long video, so I don't know how you. No, I'm just kidding. It's too big though to upload, so I'm gonna have to share it. So,
hey, let's keep it G-rated.
Comments you want to add or something? Just ask me to stop.
Chris got away with that without an eye roll.
He did.
I did. I didn't get an eye roll over here.
No.
Audra was immune.
I'll let that one pass. I knew it.
Alice in
She knew it
Wonderland.
was coming the minute Tony said that.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what now? We're going to see STATICOM evidence that was captured, recorded the next night when the present tenants of the room left, and then the new ones, Rathmans came in and set up a little gizmo there, and this is what happened.
The good part is I was worried about maybe some of the verbiage in here getting us kicked off of.
We're not on.
You guys have taken care of that long before anything in this video was affected. So,
okay.
Something happened within the first 30 seconds of turning this on, which we had to literally stop it. One, I wasn't sure what I heard at first. We stopped it, went back and played it, and it is absolutely there. And it is the first clear word spoken. You're going to hear it. And he was talking about Cherie. So we shut this thing down and replayed it, waited a while, regained composure because I couldn't even ask questions. I was pissed. But anyway, I'm going to play it. While I'm playing it, you guys should be able to talk. So if there's something you want to say or something, just ask me to stop it, and I will.
But we should try not to, right? Because we want to hear what.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean it's 9 minutes, so it's a condensement of about 2 hours.
Oh wow.
Running STATICOM in this room.
We can be quiet for 9 minutes, especially if we don't know when to talk and when not to talk. So.
Okay. All right. So with that said, now I'm hoping this doesn't blow your ears off because STATICOM does not give me the ability to adjust sound on a shared screen.
Scared.
So let's hope it doesn't. But
my ears are sensitive.
Well, don't cover them. You'll miss the what he first said. So Here we go. But I want to make sure it doesn't pick up from my mic. Okay, here we go. Is room? Yes, something. Yes. Is he in the room right now? Daryl. What's going on?
I don't know, but Tony, I don't think that said something. I think that said Tony.
Hold on. There's too much talking. Hold on.
Yeah, and I would mute your microphone too, because I think there's a little echo from the sound in your microphone.
Maybe we should all mute.
Yeah, we should mute. We don't need to talk through this. We can talk afterwards.
Let's all mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I noticed the audio cutting in and out. I don't know why it's doing that.
Did you share it?
Oh, let me double check. Maybe that's why. Oh my God, I bet you that's why. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, share the audio because it sounds like it's picking it up from your other speaker.
Mm-hmm.
That very well could be. 1 second. How do I?
Yeah, there was an element of echo there. That.
Let's try this again. All right. Yeah, I don't think I hit share audio. That could very well be the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not what I want. All right, let's try this again. Let me know if this is better. I'll try to turn ours down. Did you say a slut? Is room? Yes, something. Yes. Is he in the room right now? Daryl. Daryl, did you grab Jennie? Spirits, is Daryl in this room? Daryl, are you here?
Daryl, if you are here, why we have a question for you. Why did you grab Jennie? That wasn't nice.
Daryl, are you going to answer?
You don't treat a lady like that.
No, you don't. Hates Jennie? Is that what I just heard? Spirits, Jennie?
Did Daryl leave the bruises on her arm? What bruises? Bruises.
Daryl, is that the way how you treat a lady?
They sound panicked to you? They sound a little. Rathman, yes, it's the Rathmans. No, not vengeance. We're not here for vengeance. Who is that? It's the Rathmans.
Come forward and communicate with us.
Spirits, are you aware that Daryl was in this room? Hey, I heard vengeance again. Was Daryl getting vengeance? Yes. Jennie. What did Jennie ever do to him?
Daryl, if you're here, can you please say hi to us? We want Daryl.
Yeah, I would like. Daryl, are you here? Daryl, why on earth would you have done that to Jennie? Jennie? I would like to hear from Daryl. Daryl, you going to have enough guts to communicate? Daryl, were you in room 158 2 nights ago? Daryl, was that you speaking? Okay, I hear somebody speaking, sounds irritated. Is that you, Daryl? All right, Daryl. Was that you that affected Jennie? Is that yes? Why'd you do that? Is that how you treated women, Daryl? Do you feel more powerful if you treat women like that? Daryl, I'd like you to do me a favor. I'd like you to say, Jennie, I'm sorry. Nice people? Who's the nice people? Daryl, are you going to apologize to Jennie? Daryl, do you do this to other women that's... Daryl, are you going to respond? Daryl, is that what you do? You just hang out in rooms by the pool?
Jennie's attention, that's why you grab her.
Whatever that hell voice is saying, I don't know if I'm hearing it right or not, but we'll have to re-listen, but it doesn't sound good.
Do you need attention?
He does. And that's the way he goes about it?
Okay, you got our... If you have a message, speak now. Yes, respect. You need to respect people. We have this method that we can communicate with please feel free to talk to us.
Our friend told us she had a dream. She was being pulled out of bed, woke up, and had bruises.
Is Daryl a good spirit?
If we're wrong, let us know we're wrong. But that's the information we thought we got. Did this? Are we correct? You know, we can hear you when you're talking to each other.
How many spirits are here with us right now? Are there any spirits in here right now? Because I can feel someone's presence here. I'm getting goosebumps.
All right.
And a little cold.
Were any of the spirits that we're communicating with right now, were you in here last night? Do you remember speaking with Chris? Or Audra?
Carmella?
Or Todd and Carmella? All right, Daryl, then I think you owe Jennie an apology. No, you don't? Did I hear you say no, you don't? Why? Why would you say no, you don't?
How many spirits are here with us right now?
Communicating. How many spirits are communicating with us? I keep hearing 30. Other information you want to tell us or share about what we're asking about?
So I apologize for some of the audio that got cut out. This was a disaster of a recording audio-wise. So we sent it through some filters to clean it up, which it did a really good job cleaning it up, but I didn't realize it took out some of the audio. It must have been so bad that it just cleaned it out completely. So I apologize for that. But
we heard most of it. Most
yeah,
of us
we
heard.
heard most of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When Cherie asked that one question,
And the beginning, towards the beginning.
towards the beginning, we heard it say, "Shut up, bitch," when she asked the
Is that
question.
what it says? Aside from
It's
the
underneath. Tony didn't write it. There was no caption. It was underneath.
Yeah.
Oh.
very possible. But you know, after everything's the last two shows on the subject that we talked about, I mean, you can hear it. And he only said a few things.
Yeah.
But all of them were that same mannerism, same demeanor, same.
Yeah, I think
presence.
they get upset when I start asking a question because Tony's like, you're very aggressive. And like, I was really upset when I asked him a question and he stopped me, tried to be nice. I'm like, okay.
Well, like I said, after that very first comment, which I clipped in, but we literally had to stop. I'm like, I'm not talking to this asshole. But
Yeah. Well, what we found interesting is that you guys got, and he also bites. And Alicia had commented earlier
I saw
about biting.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
Yeah, that was
interesting.
Anthony's name.
You one of the things said snakes and vest. The drawing I did,
Yeah.
had snakes and vest. The guy had a vest on and he had a
Right.
snake tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
so
I thought that was interesting.
That was
You know?
that's
Also,
interesting.
you said, do you like beating women, something like that? And then it said business. So if she was a prostitute to them, they were selling. So maybe she was just business. That's why they beat her, because you know she was not taking care of business.
the amount of correlation of information between what the investigation got, what you got, Anthony, because none of this was shared until now.
Yeah.
So putting those pieces together, if you look at the information that ties together based on what each group got on their own, it ties together very, very well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
It really is.
And so for everybody watching, which adds to what Tony just said, nobody you see on this screen saw the investigation that was done with Audra, and Jennie.
No.
When the Cocos got involved, yeah, you can post that, Tony, huh? It's already on there, right?
It's already there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's already there.
So to add to all of this, guys, Jennie and I and Audra did the first investigation after she had the nightmare and got the bruises. We didn't tell anybody what we captured, and we reviewed the recordings in the room. And then we brought the Cocos in and did the investigation, and they didn't know what we had captured. They knew we had caught some EVPs, but they didn't know what we had captured.
Mm-hmm.
What you're seeing on the screen with these 6 here from EVPE didn't know what happened during those investigations with the Cocos and Jennie and Audra and I until we showed it that night. Anthony left at 3:00 that afternoon before it even all happened.
He wasn't involved at all.
And he was dealing with stuff at home that he had to leave for. So we didn't even talk to Anthony for about a week and a half after Gettysburg. And that is the first time all of us have seen Tony's STATICOM clip from the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
yeah.
Wow.
Or from the investigation. So,
And just to note, I think that was probably about midnight, right?
Yeah.
We were running that. And yes, I was eating. I was eating the beginning of this show. I was eating at night.
That was
I
one
just
of
like
the takeaways.
Tony eats all the time.
I'm like,
Yeah. Rathman's always eating.
Always.
Oh, we love you, Jennie. We love you.
that's right.
You don't need Daryl. There, Daryl.
Yeah.
That's a systemic progression of a thorough investigation. You had someone who experienced something just by happenstance, right? Because she was in the room. Then assessments were made on what may have happened based on the bruising. Then you guys, Chris, the Cocos, had a preliminary investigation using equipment that is prevalent in the field, recorded data, got responses. Anthony, off-site location, using something that we don't believe is bound by any kind of locality, reads and assesses and draws, and it correlates with the first stage that has already taken place. Then Rathman in this crazy STATICOM thing, whatever that is, goes in and he nails down. That was a phenomenal STATICOM session.
Yeah.
It was abundant with relevance. It correlated to things that were not only recorded, both in recording and recorded in the preliminary investigation and in the mediumship investigation offsite that Anthony did. But even to the point of tonight, where, like, again, Alicia mentioned the thing about the biting, the snakes and vests, naming the Rathmans, addressing things, the sausage thing. Okay, perhaps T-shirts are in order once again.
In case y'all didn't know what that was for. Yeah.
Yes.
In totality, that's how you do an investigation, folks.
That's my point. Yeah,
That's how you do an
perfect summary. How that unfolded at every step of the way and covered different elements, different verticals of how you can investigate an occurrence, a location. That's amazing. I mean, really, to me, that's phenomenal. What you guys all did as a collective. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I absolutely. I mean, even the audience and the Cocos, Carmella, it really is. And you guys, really, we need to go to 158. We all need to go. Can we all stay together?
Yeah.
Like we've never done it.
I mean, as drawing these things and hearing everything that's going on with you guys and seeing that I came so close with some of that stuff, and just now with the STATICOM with Tony and Cherie in the room, I'm like amazed because I never expected myself to be anything near that, to actually read something that happened, because I never did this. I mean, I'm amazed at myself by, this.
Anthony,
The vast.
you used to do it. You used to do it. Remember? I mean, we met you, and I knew that you used to do it. It's just that now, for some reason, you're going for it, and good for you.
I'm going for more now, but I just like that. To me, that's amazing. Just to get this, everybody else's, and I wasn't there. That's I think that's the coolest thing about it.
That absolutely is, and like when Chris and Audra and the Cocos did the investigation, we were not part of it. Ron and Lourdes were not part of it because we were actually doing STATICOM presentation.
Right.
So we didn't hear about any of that. We heard that Jennie woke up with some bruises on her arm.
Yeah.
And Ron and Lourdes kind of gave us some information about the fact that you guys realized that it was roughly the position of certain fingers on a grabbing arm. So we had little bits of information of it, but we weren't part of the investigation after. We weren't there when she woke up. So we had just the information that she thought someone was trying to drag her out of bed. She woke up with bruises on her arm. We heard, I think, from Chris and Audra that they got his name through an EVP, which is why we were calling him Daryl. But if you notice in the STATICOM, nobody said that's not his name.
Yeah.
Nobody, they knew who he was. Daryl was correct. So if you literally break this apart from what you guys got via EVP and different paranormal equipment, the Dead Bell and the K2s, and the answers you got, and the images and information you guys received, to what the Cocos got while investigating as well, to what then Anthony drew. We hadn't seen any of Anthony's drawings or had any information about it beyond basically what I just stated that we knew. And we went into the room and asked questions based on the tiny bit of information we had, but then take all three of those, the right name, the right information, apparently the right outlook of who he was, what had happened, who was there, Anthony's drawings depicting it all, and then our STATICOM literally tying it all then together.
And then all of that, and then you have someone in the audience who's a medium and says about biting, and you also have that in there. He also bites, which I think is the words that she used. Maybe.
Yes, he also bites.
Yes,
like she may have used those exact words, maybe.
But there's even one more element to Alicia, and Audra and I are going, we want to investigate with that chick. Because she was not only picking up things like the bite, but some of the statements she made in what the hell are those things? In the comments. There's the one word I always screw up. Some of the stuff she was sending in the comments was stuff we picked up in the room. So she was picking it up, not being in the room, distance, watching what we did. And she didn't even see the damn last show. Yeah. And she was getting the same stuff that we were getting in the room at the time we were
Alicia Gutierrez.
Yes,
Gutierrez.
it's Alicia. Yeah,
Alicia, that's right.
not Alicia. Alicia.
Alicia.
Yeah, we met her at the Mass Paracon a year ago or so. And I don't know if you remember when we talked about how we had this big shamanic thing that broke out.
Yeah.
With the word shaman kept coming out, and then they were all kind of chanting and stuff. There it is.
There it is. I'm sorry I said it wrong. Honey.
She was part of that. And she is very gifted at what she does. I think he just put the old.
Yeah, I just noticed. Yeah.
Right, the mental like the torture.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the same thing we were getting in the room that night. Yeah. So that girl right there is amazing. Girl, do you get HBO?
She may have went to bed, maybe, but
if she's not still here, we'll reach out to her because she's super cool. She's really nice, she's very gifted, and she was one of the people involved in this whole shamanic thing that broke out running STATICOM at Mass Paracon that time. I can't help but I need to repeat this, and she just said it in totality. What happened that all of you guys did was exemplary. That's unbelievable. Because even culturally, when a study comes out, one study is interesting or compelling, but when independent institutions have identical findings, that's when culturally you have an impact. That's when, like from like a medical standpoint, even, right, when you go, we need to pay attention to these findings because it's happening across independent institutions. You guys operated independently, right? There was an experiencer, a preliminary investigation that involved mediumship and equipment. A second, what would you call it, ex parte investigation through psychic mediumship and artwork that Anthony conducted, completely in the dark to what had happened thus far. The Rathmans went in completely in the dark to what had been found, drawn, or happened thus far. And actually, the drawings happened after the STATICOM session, both not knowing what each other found. And the dialogue that Tony and Cherie produced through STATICOM was freaking amazing.
Oh, great work.
That is completely independent, collaborative, corroborative investigating, nailing down all the different fine points of how this field should freaking work. If I had a mic, I'd be dropping it, and I wasn't even part of this thing. Kudos to all you effers. That's amazing.
That's how you do shit.
Thank you so much.
What?
I can't believe it's
That was pretty good.
all these different parts, like you say, Ron, all came together to get this woman's, to get the story out. She wanted her story told.
Yeah.
I feel that it took a bunch of us to actually, notice and give her something, her story try to be told.
That's what I was just about to ask. If you guys got a name, you didn't get a name of her name, right?
I got Bunny Rabbit.
That's a nickname.
I don't think we ever even asked that question.
We didn't ask.
We were more going after Daryl than I never even thought of asking that. That would have been.
Well, the reason I didn't ask her name that night is because we weren't. It was what we were picking up that night was the residual energy about what he did to her.
Mm-hmm.
It was Daryl that was coming through, and the name just popped into my head, and I went, "Is your name Daryl?" And that's when he came back on the EVP and said, "It's Daryl."
Right,
So,
and
it was focused on the
not the
focus, but
not the harp or deep dive into something else, but how we talk about when we speak with STATICOM and analytic idealism is reality being fundamentally mental, right? So now you have Anthony off-site tapping into the same stuff that you guys saw, third eye, felt and experienced and response-wise, and then Tony tapping into the same thing. So you don't have experiential states that are stuck in bed sheets and wood, and what you have is the representation of what that place is and what happened there fused into a collective memory or experiential state of the place. And you all separately at different times, and time is something that we experience, man-made construct, right? All tapped into this at what for us would be different times, but for the location would seem to be part of a universal mentation that is tied to that location. And holy shit, you guys nailed
similar
experiences that are associated with that one location. So from a universal consciousness and us being little fractal parts of it, you guys support that position collectively. What this happened here collectively, and then Alicia doing the same thing.
Yeah, that was kind of
tonight again. No time, space. She connected to the same location and the mentation that's associated with the representation of the place. Holy shit, you guys did. It's amazing. Really is.
The most unbelievable part, though, is when the comment came through, hated Jennie.
Yeah.
How do you hate Jennie? How?
I know.
Yeah.
Has anyone in the audience ever met Jennie Collucci?
Yeah,
exactly. How do you hate? How?
So those of you in the audience that have not met Jennie Collucci in person, you cannot not like this woman.
No.
She makes Disney look evil. This woman is such a phenomenal person.
Yeah.
If you don't like her, there's something wrong with you.
Get her and Audra together, and birds start singing and chirping and flying around, and little fairies come flying in. And it's like,
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the video, Tony floats away with an umbrella. He didn't share that part.
Sweeps the chimney.
But you know what, though? Go back to what Alicia said before, too. She said about a hate for women, right?
Yeah.
Only if you were going to have a bias and a prejudice towards somebody for their gender or anything like that, could you have a hate for Jennie? Right. That's the one thing. Jennie could not help but be female, and that was something that he hated. And there it is in STATICOM later, days later, and then unbeknownst to the other parts of the investigation, that you guys really did collectively pull off. To me,
that was really good.
It was an amazing collaborative, non-aware of being collaborative.
It was very enjoyable.
Well,
really.
I mean, it was such an amazing how it unfolded was, I think, probably the most amazing part of the whole thing.
That's what I enjoyed.
Yeah,
I think this was all great. Like I love this.
No, it was great. So natural. It was so awesome.
Nobody could have created their findings. And you can't have the wishful thinking, hearing what you want to hear, pareidolia, BS stuff in any way because you weren't aware of what there was to expect.
Right.
Geo is probably
That's usually the case.
Well, and to add what Audra was saying, guys, when we go to Gettysburg, I mean, we have apps on our phones. We always take a digital recorder. Audra always takes her K2. When we go to Gettysburg, it is just about being with the people we love, the people that you see sitting here in front of us right now. We don't take equipment with us because we don't plan on investigating. This whole thing laid out in Gettysburg, we weren't planning on doing a damn thing but having a good time and being with the people that we care about. And this is how it turned out.
Yeah, you went to put Jennie's back.
That's right. Because the minute we found out Daryl was effing with Jennie, I'm like, let's go check this shit out right now.
Nobody messes with Jennie.
Kokomo's one equipment.
Yeah. It worked. Even to that, it worked out. They won equipment. They used the equipment. It just flowed so nice.
I think the Cocos have equipment at all times. Like we even wondered at the Broadway show if the dead bell was going to go off. We didn't know.
And guys, I did not take my buckets, Gio. No.
Gio.
No buckets.
Nope. The only dark I planned on playing in was in the room, but Tony and Cherie were sleeping with us, so that didn't happen either. So what?
No bird singing now, are there?
Surprised I didn't get kicked under the table, but it was. I wanted these two shows to happen so bad because I knew in my heart, even though I hadn't seen everything, that it would all connect because of what I felt in that room. I was like, this has got to happen. We have to show this stuff. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, and you know what? We have categorically defined the Rathmans as innovators, as people who are doing this stuff for the right reasons. They did not have to inconvenience themselves and change rooms. But they did.
They did.
They're passionate.
We wanted to experience it. We didn't get to be in the investigation, and the only piece of equipment we had was STATICOM. Luckily, we had it.
Do you need anything else, really?
Well, but yeah,
food,
because
food.
it's just a voice. And granted, even though we don't know exactly where they're coming from and who they are, it's just a voice. But when you can tie it back to what every other piece of this included and it fits, then there's so much more relativity to the basis of the story, to the information that went from you guys, what you were getting psychically, to the instrumentation, to what Anthony drew, to then what was confirmed with vocals through STATICOM. I mean, it is that, like Ron said, that literally just tied. Did you two sleep in that room? Yeah, we did. We spent the night.
Tony can sleep anywhere, guys.
Yeah.
And so can Cherie. We've seen her with chairs. Yeah.
That's true.
Two chairs together sleeping.
These are the two people that slept in the Aho hospital while he captured the most intriguing video of shadow figures.
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
the holy grail of shadow figures, I would say.
Yeah, which, by the way, this past weekend at the NDE Experience STATICOM session we did at the Hoover House, we showed that video
The shadow.
to the attendees there, to a bunch of them at the end of the night. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Very
Aw,
cool.
thank
Hey,
you.
was that ever shown in the Pine Bush? Do you know?
I don't know that it was, and there's an interesting story behind it that I'll share with you when we talk. But
Okay.
it needs to be shown, and that's why we showed it. I'm glad I have it to do so.
Okay, I was just curious.
You
Yeah.
This was amazing tonight. Really, both shows was amazing how everything came together.
So there's a comment that I want to pull up really quick. I know Cherie usually pulls them up, but I want to show this one. Personal experience is everything no one will ever believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
It is
That's
very brilliant.
Mhm.
But there's also a subset to that. Not when you're dealing with paranormal researchers and investigators. Because every chance we possibly get, even when we don't bring equipment, we find people that have it when something's going down so we can record it. Because we've dealt with skeptics and people that doubt us for so long. It's like, fuck you, we're going to show you what's happening and what we're experiencing.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll doubt even with equipment. The biggest red herring we need to stop chasing in this field is some kind of a consensus objective truth.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Everything, even when you use equipment, your assessment of it, your participation in it is subjective. Subjectivity is unavoidable. To say that an objective truth is going to be found is untenable. We need to abandon that idea. What happened here was independent subjective experiences through investigating through different tools and applications and methodologies came together and gave a resounding unity to what was gathered.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. And my hat's off. Respect for everybody here has already been at an all-time high. But I'm proud to be part of this group and everybody who was part of this investigation from this, because that's phenomenal.
I know
That's really how you take the subjective experiences and you tie this back to what is a representation at that place that incorporates people's independent and subjective experiences, both in who you were communicating with and then the recordings and findings that you guys all put down independently. It's phenomenal what you guys did.
It was so good. Everything from the two shows that it makes me feel like I was in the investigations with you guys.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me feel. It was so good. I mean, I'm like, this was good.
And every one of these things was spurred on by the passion that we keep us in this field for the right reasons, right? It could have ended with Jennie's story. It didn't. It launched an investigation. You guys went in to see what you could figure out and find out and to address it. Anthony wasn't asked or hired to do what he did. He tapped into it and saw it. He used what he's able to do, and he brought something to the table. Then the Rathmans could have easily said, oh, that's a nice story, and stayed in the room they were in. They changed rooms and rented that one for the night so that they could do what they do in the room. Everybody stepped up of their own volition because they're the best at what the frick they do. I'm proud of you guys. That's amazing what happened.
I mean, it was fun watching this.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I mean, we're tooting our own horn with the show, but I can't help it. It was really good.
You guys are a part of it. You kind of started the ball rolling when Ron said you don't doubt yourself, Jennie, and then that kind of spurred her on, and so you guys got the ball rolling. So
if we had any influence, we're grateful that we did. But what you guys each independently did in all three of the investigative components was of your own volition, because you're curious and because you do what you do, all of you, and it's freaking amazing the type of people that we're involved with who put this together. These episodes happened because you guys stepped up and did what you did, all of you.
So guys, if you didn't watch the first show, you should really watch it and see how it all ties in. Both two shows are really great shows to watch. So
it's called the Jennie Collucci Encounter Attack at the Bash. And then this one was titled, if you guys weren't paying attention, STATICOM Strikes Back. And apparently, Forget About It strikes back too.
Yeah. And STATICOM breeds sausage was
You
also
could
not a
be
bad
part of
that
it.
was funny.
I forgot that one was in there.
Huh?
The small element that we're all missing. You heard me say what I said about Mrs. Collucci. This all stemmed from how much we care about those of the people that we get involved with in our parafamily. And when Collucci told every single one of us that something happened to her, we all stepped to.
Yeah, good point.
We all stepped to because somebody that we cared about had been affected by an energy in a room that she was supposed to be relaxing in. And all of us stepped the fuck up and said, fuck you, bitch. We're coming in and we're going to call you out because you're not going to mess with somebody we care about.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. And the Rathman said, not only are we going to come in and step up and do what we do, we're going to eat through it.
Right. Well, that's right.
Here,
It's really amazing what came together organically in stages through everybody's independent inspiration, and probably for what Chris said, it was ideal because yes, it was probably individually inspired because everybody does care and love Jennie.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that's such a cool experience that just unfolded.
It really is. That's amazing. It's
And you believed her? Of course I did.
Absolutely.
you know,
There is no one on this planet that I care about that I don't believe in.
yeah.
It's the people that come across like Daryl that I have no faith in.
mm-hmm.
But everybody you see on this camera right now, I want to make this statement loud and clear. No matter what you see, what you hear on social media and all that other bullshit, these 7 people, amongst some of the people that we've talked highly about tonight, are in that wheelhouse with Audra and I. So let's make sure that's clear.
Good place to be.
I believe in everybody that I say I care about. And the reason I believe in them is because I feel them. I know their energy is pure. And anything coming out of anybody else's mouth is nothing but horse shit. Sorry, guys. Had to say it.
No, we appreciate that, Chris. And
Thank you.
can't think of any place better to be than in that wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Circle, our
Guys,
circle.
I was thinking about that movie too. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be in the circle or do you want to be out of it?
Yeah.
You want to be out of the circle. And let me tell you a little secret. We might be quiet, but being out of that circle is not a good place.
Yeah. It's a
Phenomenal evidence brought together by phenomenal researchers and investigators. Phenomenal collaboration that was not connected in any way prior to what you saw on these shows tonight.
Right.
And that is the most, like Ron said, that is the most impactful statement. Anybody that saw the first show and saw the second show, if you didn't see the first show, go back and watch the damn thing, because nobody involved in all of this had a full collaboration of what happened. So everything you saw happen generated, like Ron said, naturally, consciously, and in a state of mind that we're all connected with. And it all came together in so many different realms. It's insane. It is crazy.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that the paranormal's not normal, you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Normal is not normal.
Yeah.
And thank you, Anthony, for being our guest tonight.
Yeah.
Those drawings were awesome.
I thought being part of this, I feel like, wow, just to be part of this whole thing, you know, and not even being there, that was.
Well, your pictures are wow. What
Yeah,
you do is amazing. Really,
And
what
I-
you do is amazing.
And I'm going to speak for the whole team, and I'm sure they all feel the exact same way I do. Mr. Simonelli, you will never not be a part of anything the 6 of us are a part of.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You know that, sir.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's an honor, really, because you guys are all amazing. When I got, got to be with all 6 of you at the same time. I thought that was wow. That was very cool. You know.
And we were all thinking the same thing about you, brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
I was
so
thinking of cannolis.
Yeah, I was wondering where the fuck mine were.
Yeah, I bet Raphael was too.
The Knowles yet.
Daryl might be focused on sausage, but we want to know where the fucking cannoli is.
Yeah.
They
Next
came
time,
home with
static
me.
cannoli.
That a cannoli.
Jenny bought me half a dozen cannolis up there in Gettysburg, but we didn't get a chance to eat them because I had to leave so early.
Oh,
She could have gave them to us.
I know. What the heck?
Hold on,
that
let's
was the
rethink this whole
Listen,
beloved
I would have
Jenny
left my
thing now.
clothes
Hold on.
behind before that. The cannolis come home with me.
Yeah, we need to.
She kept those cannolis.
Yeah, if Jenny kept the cannolis, we need to rethink this whole beloved Jenny concept now. Hold on a second.
Yeah, wait a minute, Jenny. I just pretty much pictured you and told all the audience that you're an angel, and then you let him take the cannolis home. What the hell?
Nobody really knew I took the cannolis. I was going to leave them behind in the room, but I don't know. I left the beers behind, but I took the cannolis.
I
Leave
took
the
those.
cannolis.
Okay, we can forgive you on that one.
Priorities.
Priorities.
But, yeah. I needed something to eat on the way home. I need
I understand that. I
Six of
understand
them never made it back.
Completely.
5 hours, 6 cannolis. That's about right.
All right, guys, we have gone off the rails like usual.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is thank you to our audience for coming out.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging again.
Not for watching us again, because we'd probably do this if you weren't. But for watching what we do, we enjoy sharing it with you. We enjoy sharing all the love we have for each other with you guys. Most of all, we enjoy sharing something like this with you guys. Not only does it show you that we not only come on and we show the people that come on our show, we show their evidence, but we actually get out there, we actually do it. We've said it 100 times, and we've proven it to you that many times too, and we will continue to do that to show you guys that we are true in not only what we believe, but in our hearts and the belief that we have in the paranormal community and how to move it forward. That is the true belief of the people you see on the screen in front of you right now. Yeah. And the only way we believe that is to stay haunted. Mm-hmm. Guys, you stay haunted, we'll stay haunted, and we'll continue doing what we're doing. We'll see you guys next week. All right, guys, have a good night.
Good night.
This September.
Can you give me a name? What's your name?